And we are live. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the annual late night specials that we do here in the spaceship, the late night streams. And you be watching from anywhere. You could be watching from anywhere around the country or the world, and I appreciate that. And also, we have some interesting things to talk about regarding the Japanese typhoon that's over there. Also, reflecting on Hurricane Katrina that happened this day in 2005, and also we have the trial news and stuff like that. And let's get right into it. Alright, hello. Here I am. And also, what I'll do is I'll get into the game in a moment. I'm going to open up this other thing right here so y'all can see me a little bit better. Alright. Alright, here I am. So, basically, I hope all of you have been having a great week so far. And to explain that, I do these late night streams for certain audiences that like them. Also, I do other ones earlier, like especially on Sunday. I did one during the day. I did an earlier one. So we have them at different times and stuff. And also, at some point soon, I'll be doing the phone lives again as well. So yes, I appreciate all the views and support. And also, we have Dwayne. He says, "Hi, Alien Spaceship. I've been up since 3 a.m., so I just got in bed." And he says, "I'm an old man, 64 years old, so I'll watch it in the morning. My friend, take care, young man, and have a great life." Thank you, Dwayne. Hope that you get a very good rest and watch the rerun of this. I appreciate your support on the channel and also at the other stream. Although at the trial chat, as you know, there's a lot of trolls and stuff there that are, causing a ruckus. And it's not like it used to be when the mods were there. But I appreciate meeting you there. Very nice. And also now what I do is I play a game while I do the stream, and there is some sketchy weather, so I don't know, there could be hiccups in the stream, so that what that means is there could be sketchy connections sometimes, but let's see how this goes. Alright. And right now we have the game's about to launch, and I will talk about the different topics while I play the game. And also I will later do the different articles and stuff as well. You're welcome, Dwayne. And hello, Dwayne. Good to see you. Up for 10 more minutes. Okay. So, he says, hello, Kathy. Good to see you. And Dwayne says, "Hi, Alien. I'll stay up for 10 more minutes to watch your live. Thank you for passing the message along yesterday." Oh, yeah. Yes. It was my pleasure. I was glad to do that. And it was, the Tellus trial was a lot of cringe with Tellus. And there's a lot of confusion going on with him in general. And it was nice to get that done. Hello, Kathy. It's good to see you as well. Alright, so here's the game that I play, and I talk about the different topics and things like that while I do this. Okay? Okay. So basically, right now, so there's another one of our fellow aliens that comes here. She is in Japan. She's originally from America, but her husband came from over there to America, and at some point in the early 2000s or the 90s, at some point, they moved over to Japan to be with the family, his family over there. So what happened was they're over there, and there's this big typhoon. So a typhoon is like a hurricane, and what it does, it's just another word for a hurricane, and it's very big, and it's moving slowly. So when hurricanes move slowly, they get bigger and bigger, and it's not good when that happens. and she was thinking about me when because I was young during Hurricane Katrina, and today is the anniversary of that hurricane. And because she sent me a message about there was a reflection on Fox Weather about it, and then what happened was I was like, oh, today was the day it happened. So that was it's interesting because also there is another hurricane. I believe it was Ida that happened on this day in New Orleans as well. Yeah, so the typhoon has been going towards southwestern Japan, and now it's entering southwestern Japan. It was getting closer and closer, and now it's there. They cause a lot of problems, power outages, and it's threatening to life. It's going to cover their whole island over there, and also I think that it's a really scary situation to be in because the the hurricanes that I stayed for, I remember it sounds like it's similar to like a tornado, but it's really a lot of rain and wind and stuff, and it'll shake a house. I don't know if y'all have been through that, but it's very very intense. And also, what happened in 2005 was the hurricane that hit New Orleans, and I remember I was 7, and I was being told that we would be going on a vacation. And I thought that was interesting. And what happened was I thought it was exciting, but it was also kind of scary because I knew something was wrong, and I grabbed so eventually one of the mornings I woke up and I was told we're going to be evacuating the city, going to Florida where my aunt and uncle are. Also, basically, what happened was I I grabbed some toys and took them with me, but I wasn't completely like. If I had known about what was going to like happen, I would have brought a lot of different things. And by the way, I want to say I hope all of you are having a good week and have a good weekend. If y'all are doing anything interesting, I'd like to hear about it. And also, basically, that was my experience with that. I took some of the toys with me, and we left a lot of the I left a lot of the stuff behind. Then we went over, and very dark clouds are coming over. Then we were in Florida. The next morning, the whole city was flooded, and it was really really wild. Absolutely was. And Dwayne says, Kathy, since the new guy took over that other trial site, the chat has gone downhill. That is absolutely true, Dwayne. Plus, I chewed on the new owner out of not moderating the chat, so I think he's locked out for good. Well, yeah, Dwayne, good job, standing up for us because it was really like when Addie and the mods had the chat, they had it under control, and there's so much bullying going on, and there's so much trolls in the chat. It's absolutely horrible, and it would be nice to had some moderation in there, and because they have these basement dwellers that are just causing mayhem, and a lot of people didn't like it for a good reason and left. It would be nice if we were able to block them out the chat ourselves, because we're the ones there. And then you had the Wade Wilson fanatics that were going and causing problems to those people. Hello, Amy Lou. Good to see you. The Wade Wilson fans that were spamming the chat and saying he was innocent. And I don't know what rock they live under or who misled them, but Wade Wilson was not innocent. He clearly did it. Without a shadow of a doubt. And he could have been an influencer or something. He could have done something more productive, but he, chose a different path. Yeah. Yeah, Dwayne, exactly. I think that it's too much politics and too much all that stuff it causes division. I absolutely agree. Because people that could be very good friends or good people, it'll cause them to go and fight each other. That's why Addie and them had the chat like that. And shout out to all of you. I appreciate you all being here and chilling with me. And also, I remember like Pam, she would get fired up at the trolls, and she would let them have it completely. And Kathy said that was terrible the other day. We definitely needed mods. Yeah, absolutely. You know, it's like if you don't have any kind of like defense, you're just left defenseless. And I don't like seeing that happen to my friends. And you know, and I like how they waited to do that when the mods were taken out. And on Addie's channel, she, you know, like kind of talked about it, and she was saying at some point she would explain more about it, but basically a company bought out another company, and there's going to be new mods there, but there's no new mods. There's nobody there. And another problem that happened was she made a statement, if I recall correctly, that maybe some thought she was too controlling of the chat, but she wasn't controlling. You got to be tough with the people in there. So I don't know if there was people that were saying, oh, they're being over, mods are being too harsh, but when you do that, you have a problem where you have what we have now, and there's like nobody there to do anything. You definitely need mods. Like this channel I have is like filled with mods. It's like it's abundance of mods. I think mods are great to get rid of trolls, and you know, so I think that it's really disappointing what happened to that other channel for sure. Save Wade, save Wade. Right, we're not going to save him. You know, maybe the aliens will do an experiment on him, but it's not going to go well. And Wade looked very nervous when he was getting his sentence. He was trying to stay calm, but he really wasn't. The way you become a mod on, say, like this channel, for instance, is I click on you, and then you get a wrench. So like I could do it with y'all here right now, and also basically another thing is that we will go and that's how you do it. Like you, like me or somebody on their channels, they'll go like say, "Oh, thank you, Dwayne." Yeah, let's do this right now. So we're going to do this. We're going to go here. Y'all probably can see this because I have part of the chat window open. So you go here, and then I'll go add as moderator and manage that the top one. There you go. And then you got him. We'll do him too. Dwayne also. All right. Because as I say, because in my chat rooms, you'll see a whole, you know, it's like all mods pretty much. So there's some people that are friends of mine that weren't really into being mods, but so you have some people that aren't mods, but most of the people are mods. Because it's like sometimes I'll be doing live streams and there'll be trolls that will say stupid things to me, especially in the phone live streams. They'll have like people that will say stupid things. So that's why I like the moderators to mod the chat room. And basically, I think that, you know, people should, you know, come together and be more united. That's what I liked about the other chat, because these people from these different political views and different ideas and beliefs came together for a common cause. And politics, I think, is important to talk about, but a lot of there's not much that we could really do, really. And it's like it's best to control things you can control, not things you can't. And like the trial is very important for people to see that, because that's something that would affect all of us really closely. And it's good to see unity, even if it's in a form of a trial, that everybody comes together, even from other places around the world. Because the division, you divide and conquer. So so I think that 'cause it's like two wings of the same bird, like you'd be split into two different groups. And as I said, like people that could be sworn enemies could get along perfectly fine because that's the whole thing. They want people to be divided by all those things. That's when I was watching like the trial chat. I'm like, I kind of started to be like, this is true unity right here because this group says they're bringing unity, this group says they're bringing unity, but when you have everybody like coming together, that is true unity. And also regarding the storm over there in Katrina, there's a problem where they put all these people in the Superdome and the convention center, but they didn't really have a lot of supplies and stuff for a very long time. People would be in there, so you had a lot of chaos happen. And I knew this lady that's a neighbor of mine. She was in another part of the city, and she was saying basically she would in 7 in the morning, like early in the morning, actually the yes, Dwayne. So basically, you are a mod on the channel now. You're a moderator, and also that's okay. That's good. See that so when someone becomes a moderator, they gives them a notification on the screen that they're now a moderator, and they clicked OK. That's what that means. So that welcome to the spaceship modding crew. And also, basically, in this the convention center in the Superdome, that you had she told me that she was mopping her floor at some point. So the next day, so on September 1st, there was no water. So it didn't happen during the storm. It happened the day after. People heard these explosions or these booms, and then water started coming into the city. And then what happened next was you had a situation where you she was my neighbor was telling me she was mopping her floor because there's water was in the house, and then it looked outside and she was very shocked to see what she was seeing, and there was this water coming in, like it was a flooding happening, and she got her ice chest of groceries and she went on the bridge, and eventually she was rescued. Yes, y'all are special, absolutely. And she said she could hear from the Superdome. There's a lot of horrible things going on down there during that time, and shootings and crimes and stuff like that. And seeing the people, the Superdome's roof got roofed off, not roofed off, but ripped off. And I came back with my family about very shortly, not very shortly, but it was a couple of months, of course, but or a couple of weeks or so. Yeah, a couple of months. We were for some of the first people back here. I remember I saw the Superdome in person. I saw the ripped roof as we were passing by it, and but we didn't stay here, but we came back earlier. We were the first people back, and we had to have these people. We had to live in trailers for I don't quite recall a few years. These nice trailers, and then they eventually I am here where I am right now. I live down the street in one of my family's other places, but we moved closer to my grandparents' place. Another one they have down here. So I'm next door to my grandparents, but before I was kind of down the street. Then I moved up to, close to them, and it was like a little campsite, so to speak. It's like a little settlement. That's what it was like here, and it was pitch black at night, and we would have electricity run on generators because there's no electricity or water or anything. So the water was still contaminated from Katrina. That's how soon we got back. And so yeah, it was a really crazy hurricane, and a lot of like the church my family went to was torn down. And eventually, it wasn't torn down right away. It was torn down a little bit later. It was where my grandparents are married at, and it went down eventually because there wasn't enough people. A lot of people moved away because of the storm. Because naturally, people weren't really happy about their houses being flooded. It wasn't really a happy thing that people wanted to experience. So basically, they did improve the levees, and they put the city inside like there's these a double barrier, like there's these giant flood walls with these big gates. It looks kind of like an Iron Curtain from the Cold War. That's what it kind of looks like. And they got advice about levees and stuff from Europe, like the Netherlands and things like that, to make the levees better. And so they improved all the levees, and so it's better than it was before. And they closed up this waterway called Mr. Go. The Mr. Go was a place where like boats and stuff would pass by through the city, and that's what flooded this part. Back there's Hurricane, I think it's called Rita, back in the 70s or something, and where this region where I am, it didn't really flood at all, just like a little bit of rainwater or something. So that's why, because my grandparents lived in another part of the city called Lakeview, and if the levees broke, my grandpa told me it would flood it would go over the roof, and he was right. That's what happened. It still flooded out here, not too good, a couple of feet here, but at least it wasn't up to the ceiling, because some places it flooded up to the ceiling. But it still flooded though, and the other area, Metairie and Kenner, they got a little bit of flooding. Like my school over there got a little bit of flooding, but it wasn't really like down here. No. And the state knew for a long time they had to repair the levees. A teacher told me her father worked for the Army Corps of Engineers, and they're saying there's these weak spots, but they didn't do anything about them. All the tax money and stuff, like we see like the YSL trial. I like watching it. Amy and Kadeto like to watch it with me, and you all know about it, but it is a very cringe trial. And you see how the state of Georgia just keeps spending money on that, and like they just keep wasting taxpayer money. This state wasn't, in my opinion, wasn't putting money into fixing levees and stuff. They're just doing whatever they want with themselves. So yeah, there was some corruption going on, and it led to the catastrophe that occurred. And now as I say, coincidentally around the same time that Katrina happened, there's a gigantic typhoon heading towards Japan in the southwest coast, and it will cause outages and problems to the people over there. And thoughts and prayers to the people over there. And Sarah, you all know, Kathy knows Sarah, but like Sarah, for instance, over there, she is doing, she's in there and she's hunkering down and prepared for it. Dwayne says, Alien, when I woke up this morning, I couldn't figure out what August 29th meant to me. Thank you for reminding me that the anniversary of Katrina. I told you, you're a very wise young man. Thank you, Dwayne, and you did. And that really means a lot to me. I really appreciate the kind words from you. Very, very kind person you are. And I did a lot of practice, a lot of research, and work on this channel, and it's nice to see it finally all come together. And I got into aliens. Some of you that may not know, I got into aliens when I was in school. My friend Joseph, he would talk about aliens and stuff. He's my best friend, and he would tell me about the different alien theories and stuff from like the ancient times, and also there's biblical references to some of this stuff too. And that's how I got into it. And he was talking all the time about this other planet that's allegedly out there very far in our solar system that they said it wasn't real, but now they're saying, the scientists are now saying that it probably is there. It's called Nibiru Planet 10. So him and I were very close, and we talked about all kinds of different topics, and aliens were one of them. And then this YouTube channel was originally called Hansel Cat. My name's Hansel and Cat. And then I made it Skater Gamer at some point, and I didn't really put too much on there around that time. This was about 2016. Before that, I started the channel in 2010, and then in 2017, I uploaded this soundtrack, which my computer could make all kinds of different soundtracks and stuff, and they have this alien type, sci-fi type music. So what happened was I put the alien soundtrack together, and then what I did was I put it on YouTube, and it has thousands of views now, and I named my channel after that soundtrack, and I want to focus on the alien theories and stuff, because he felt everybody should know about the aliens. And it's so basically they're most likely the fallen angels, in my opinion, like the Watchers from the Bible, and they're appearing as aliens. I do believe there's also other life forms out there in the universe too that may come here also, but I do think that there could be a link between the fallen angels and the aliens, and because they seem to cause people problems and abduct people and stuff. From what I've researched about them, and there's these people that are able to summon them, like these people that are in occultic things that they summon them and stuff like that. And there's a lot of sightings of orbs and UFO stuff out there. So, and I do, as I said, I do believe that there's other life forms out there on different planets, but also the the biblical stuff I like studying about also correlates to that too, in my opinion. So that's how kind of background about this channel and how it became Alien Spaceship, and I dedicated my time to that. And also I found the the channel that I met y'all at, the Long Prime channel, or we'll call it the other chat room that has gone downhill. It was the Johnny Depp trial, and this one day the weather was really bad, and the Independent, which that was the one I was on originally, they were airing it, and I was in the chat room defending Johnny Depp, that he was not responsible for the crimes that she accused him of, but he was not perfect. And so he did things that may have been, wild, but he wasn't abusing people, in my opinion. And so one day they had bad weather and their stream wasn't working, and everybody was saying the other chat room was doing good and that they were running. And I went over there and we all watched it there, and then I watched the Darrell Brooks trial and all the other ones, and then I kind of was there off and on. And then Pam, she really, really wanted me to continue to come there more often, and I was able to do it, and I did, and I'm very glad I did that. I've learned a lot of things and words and different stuff, and a lot of stuff from y'all, and a lot of stuff in general from the different people, and I'm glad that I did it, and here we are. Very cool. Yeah, shout out to all of you. I appreciate all of you, and and it means a lot to me also where I am right now, because and because of Katrina, and now I'm here doing this stream, and I overcame that and all those struggles and the other things I went through, and still here and running the ship. So sometimes things I say all the time, it doesn't make forward. So Steve Jobs, I like looking at stuff he said, and he was the one that was saying that the dots connect in the future. Some of you maybe heard that me say that before, because he said that sometimes things don't make sense looking forward, like say a hurricane happens, or things get suspicious in the chat rooms, like acting stupid. But when you look back on it in the future, it'll make sense, and things just line together. Like all these, like with the hurricane happening was very good in a sense, because because I prayed for a bigger backyard, because I didn't have anywhere to much of a yard at all, and then I got a very big backyard, and I was able to plant things and be right next door to my grandparents, and there's a palm tree. It's really cool. So all the stuff I do on YouTube with the cat videos and all, that's because I'm closer. I'm not down the street. It was a very cool house. Very cool house. It was in my family for a long time. But I wanted a bigger yard, and my prayers were answered through that horrible event. And I spent a lot of time with my grandpa in Mississippi after we were with their family in Florida, with my grandma's family in Florida. We went to this camping ground. It was very nice. And we had this thing where we would see wildlife and things, and I would we'd try fishing. And then the fishing didn't really work out too well, because the fish are very smart. They would go and take the bait and just go right off. And we were on top of this big ledge, you would call it. It's kind of like a mountain, and would drop the line in there into the Pearl River. and we would try to get at them, but we didn't get them. And I was told not to get too close to the river, that it was going very fast, very fast. And I remember, I'll always will remember the smell of campfires. It was very good, and I met friends there. I enjoyed it, and I liked. I don't do hunting personally, but I saw the hunting gear they had there, the camouflage, and I like wearing that type of stuff because I saw it there. It was very nice, outdoorsy place. And now I was a little in my childhood mind. I thought that it would look more like a beach here after the flood happened, but I was really wrong. It looked horrible. Like, and then there's this thing that they had to do. They had to go into the houses to make sure there was people trapped or people that were not, that were deleted, that weren't alive anymore, and stuff like that. So the National Guards and the military, they would break into houses, and they would put a line, and they would put on the bottom a number. The number, if they put a number, it would be the people that were not around anymore. And usually, or there was zero, there was no one there. Or there was somebody that was in there. It would just say numbers. And then they would put another X to make sure to say that it was finished. And also, then you would have the unit on the left side, and then the date on the right, on the top, if I'm remembering it correctly. And then they would put other additional messages sometimes. So that's how they would do things, and would spray paint it on the house. So as I said, it looked like the apocalypse happened. It looked like the Terminator happened. It was a very crazy event that occurred, and there was these water lines that in some parts, they're still there today. The water lines are still there, but a lot of it faded out or people painted over it. But there's these water lines that that were there, and sometimes they were in layers. There were like little layers of them, and you would see like this strip of these different lines, these dark lines. Say in a house, you would see mold, and it would be caked with it. It'd be all these black and different colored circles on like a line on the bottom of the wall, and the rest of the wall would look fine. And everything, it just looks like a bomb went off. I remember there was a boat on the sidewalk. I was like, what in the world is this? And there were street signs. It was very strange to me. I was like, what in the world happened? But as I said, many good things came out of it, though. And looking back, it makes sense. And I'm glad that, in a sense, it happened. I'm very glad it happened because I believe hard times create strong people. And I believe that pain is an elixir for success. And that pain can be used as a good tool to further fuel what you have to do. And it made my faith in God stronger. And as I said, I got to be next door to my grandparents, and I got to do see a lot of different things and be in this area. I like this part better than where I was before. So as I said, I know it's very strange to say, but yes, I really appreciate it. So it's very interesting for it to happen during the typhoon going on and over there in Japan, around the same day Katrina happened. And people are prepared over there for it, and it was just been sitting there, because when a storm sits there, there's a couple of hurricanes that happened since Katrina that did not result in a catastrophe like Katrina did. And what happened was when it stalls in the ocean or the Gulf, when it stalls in the middle of nowhere or in the ocean somewhere, it just keeps getting stronger and stronger. It pulls up the heat. Hey, Shecky. Good to see you, bro. And that's the thing that really causes a lot of cringe. Because because it'll get bigger and bigger, and Category 5 is the highest it can be. And there's different parts of the storm that have different mechanisms in it, where There's the western wall and the eastern wall, and the different ones. Like one side's more powerful than the other side, and it is so over in Japan. It's stalling out there. It's stalling out there, and then it's going into the shores. And I will update you all about how that hurricane goes. And yeah, there's this Hurricane Zeta that happened in 2020. That's when I started doing my YouTube channel again more frequently. Well, really in 2017 and 18, like right after high school. Right after high school, I remember I had my girlfriend at the time. But what happened with that girlfriend is that she was great. It's just we went different ways and we just drifted off over time. But it was good that happened. The drifting happened because I was able to focus more on YouTube, and here I am. But she was cool people though. But I wish, part of me wishes it could have worked out a little bit differently. But it's okay. It's nice to be more involved on YouTube. So basically, what happened was the my friend in Japan. She was telling me that even in Japan, people volunteered and came to the city to help out, and people all over the country and the world did, and it made international news. And so it's really cool how it made that people all came together, and I believe that in dark times people can come together. It could be a good thing in a sense when something bad happens, because like a saying I like is that a monk said this, and I say this often, especially when things get really dark. Sometimes with the evil people we see in the trials, that there's a lot of darkness in the world, but it cannot extinguish a single candle. One candle, if it's just one, it's still a candle shining in the darkness. No amount of darkness can extinguish the candle. So I think that is a very good thing I see in dark situations, people coming together. And Zeta was good in a sense because it happened on Halloween. Down here, it's very hot and humid usually, but it kind of cools down and gets a little bit more windier this time of year. But it's extremely, excruciatingly hot though in the daytime. But at night, it gets a little bit cooler, maybe depending how you're viewing it. And basically, what happened was we we're waiting for a cold front during Zeta to come through, and the hurricane would go away, but it didn't make it quick enough. So the hurricane came and did its thing and knocked out the power, because that's what it does here. It knocks out the power. And then what happened was it was very, very cool though, because when the power got knocked out, the cool front came in. And it was very cold and nice and cool weather, nice crispy weather. And it was Halloween, and the full moon was out. I really liked it because I like that kind of stuff. I like Halloween and things like that. So I really appreciated that. And it would go, and it was very cool. You didn't need air conditioning even if it was on. The weather was so nice and cool. But the one in 2020 was horrible because it happened this day in 2020, and the power was out for a week, and it was really hot. It was really hot. So as I said, if a hurricane's going to happen and knock out the power, it should be during a cool front. But being in the heat for a long time and all, I got used to it. But it's still nice to have cooler weather, of course. But it's good for planting. So remember in 2020, I had these pepper plants it was these Asian pepper plants, and very nice. They're like Kenya peppers. I may be pronouncing it wrong, but it's similar to that. It's called the dragon pepper from Thailand, and it's a very nice, very, very hot pepper. And I grow the little tiny ones and the big ones. I remember that, and I had the Halloween decorations out the Halloween time. And also I was looking over the garden back then, and I have these elephant ear plants that keep on regrowing. I put these elephant ear plants in my yard around 2017, right when I was about to graduate high school, and then I And ever since they expanded and continued to grow and do their thing. Yeah. So Katrina, another thing on Katrina, I remember when I got back, I saw these. You would see roofs, and where people had to break out their houses. Oh yeah, absolutely, Kathy, absolutely. Now we do have a generator we had on sometimes, and we did have the fan during the day that helped. And also with the so that was cool, but it's not nice when the rest of the day when you don't have it at night. Cause I remember what I did during that hurricane in 2020. It was like I had some blankets on and everything. I woke up like I was like done at PE or at a gym or when I'm done working out. It was all like I was like, oh, it doesn't feel too good. And the sun was shining right on me because something fell off my window that like blocks it, and the sun was right on me. It was really, it was very It was very miserable. It was very miserable, Kathy. It was very miserable. And the Red Cross came, and the Red Cross has had really new, cool looking trucks. Remember when we first came back, and I was just there was pieces of the street that were on the sidewalk, and then what happened was I heard somebody in our intercom talking about hot food, and we came back in like November, and also so it was kind of cold, and my mom thought my grandpa was doing a joke or something, but it was actually somebody that was. I put a dot in the chat because there's a heart button and it blocks the for me from seeing what's going on, the full comment. Yeah, so that's why I do that. And yeah, so basically, what happened was the Red Cross, you know, was giving out their hot food, and I got the hot food during Katrina. It was after Katrina, and the Red Cross, very good food, very good food. I love that their food is like better than a restaurant. It's really really good food. It's nice hot food, for sure. And I got a blanket, and the blanket was interesting. It was like knitted together, and it was white, and it had like these you could see through it, but it was a good blanket. It was a good like very nice material and very comfortable. And we were there for quite a while. Oh, this could be tricky. Hello, Primal Primal. Good to see you. I'm glad that you're able to come and show up. And he, Primal and Gizmo, that's a very good channel. I recommend y'all subscribe to. He has content about his tortoise. Yeah, college. I didn't go to college, but I know from my friends that went to college and the stuff I do on YouTube. Although YouTube's kind of different, but it's still I know what you mean. Yeah, very rough. And also with college, good luck to you. I hope it goes well. But Primal and Gizmo, he has a very good channel about his tortoise, and I recommend y'all subscribe to him. And yeah, so because all these things are gonna come through, so we just go doc. But we did a good run today in the game. Good blunder. Good blunder. All right, we did great. Yeah, so yeah, the Red Cross, as I was saying, very good food, and during hurricane during hurricane in 2020, they gave us the hot food, and as I said, the trucks look very different, very modernized. They still had very good food. So I saw the Red Cross, and they did. So there's somebody in the game I'm talking to. That's why I was a little bit sidetracked. But so yeah, so very good food, as I said, during Katrina and afterwards, like in 2020. I'm telling my friend the game something. Give me a moment. Okay. So all right. So basically, as I said, the Red Cross was good. They gave us a lot of food and stuff like that. And in 2020, they came back again and did the same thing. So yeah, shout out to the Red Cross, very cool people. Fantastic. Thank you, Amy. Yeah, so I remember that, the kindness people, did. Anyway, so so what happened was eventually the power came back on in 2020, and it was very nice when it finally came back on. It took about a week because what happened was during the hurricane, there is a power line that fell into the Mississippi River because they conveniently have a lot of power lines on the Mississippi River. So they chose to put everything there. So it's something fell into the river. And in Florida, I had a good time with my family there, and we did thing like played some chess. Went to I was watching these tapes that my aunt put together, like Garfield and stuff like that. I really liked it a lot, and it was so as I said, I had good experiences in Florida too. I couldn't go to Amy. Good night. Thank you so much. I am going to log off. I have to work in the morning. I will maybe see you tomorrow. You're welcome. Yeah, thank you, Amy, so much. Yeah, yeah. So I remember I couldn't go to the beach in Florida because all the stuff that washed up on there, and I remember, as I said, you would see these roofs, and you would have these holes in it, like I was saying before, and where people had to break out the roof and from the attic, and it's very hot on the roof. My grandpa was a roofer most of his life. He had a roofing business, and I remember when I was a kid, I was on roofs. He would bring me on roofs, and one time, I had to. His last time he was on a roof, he wasn't supposed to be on a roof. I had to bring him off the roof because he got stuck up there because he couldn't really move. And roofs are very hot. And there's like this little outside cat house I built one time, and I was a kid, and I put these shingles on it. But shingles can be a roof's very hot. I mean, I'm sure you all would think that, but it's very hot. So it's very unfortunate for the people that had to be on those roofs. And then you would see like these cups and these different things on these different places, and it would say help. So I saw that stuff. It's like being like a Titanic survivor. But as I said, the city came together, and although there is still like corruption and things like that, the city came back from what happened to it. And but a lot of houses, you know, a lot of these houses were abandoned, and basically, yeah, that yeah. Shout out to Primal for being in school. Yeah, shout out to him. Thank you, chat, for being cool. And yeah, so basically, a lot of houses were abandoned for many years, for a decade, for a very long time, and a lot of the houses were abandoned, and eventually, a lot of them to this point in time were torn down. Because you would see the houses with the X on it and all the gunk and stuff, and they would just sit there for years and years. People abandoned their houses. Some collapsed. Some collapsed. Some places were just, just standing there, and they eventually were torn down. There are some people that lived across the street from me around 2018 or so. They were torn down. In my school over in Metairie, the front gym was all twisted and torn up like a sunken ship. You couldn't even walk in the front gym. And I have to do something because we gotta get the chat back. And they tore their house down in like 2018. And that's the last ones I know of that before they were torn down. But very nice neighbors. But I said a lot of people didn't like the what happened with the hurricane. So that is what happened with that. And hello, Duke. Good to see you. Welcome. So we talked about the hurricane, and I think for y'all for going being here and seeing that part, and also with the trial news, Tellus was found guilty, and he was not sentenced to death, but he was given life, and it was really cringe to see his wife was talking about him, and he has like this like shark face, and he was like, "I love you." And tell us there's so many things about he looks like a superdome. He looks like a really cringe individual, and it was wrong what he did to Mr. Gurman. He was trying to expose corruption of his corruption, and he went and deleted him, and that's what it led him to. And they always say like he was such a good kid, and he was such a good husband, and he was such a great guy, but when you go and do things like that, that's not really too good. When you go and delete people, because we have a freedom of speech, and it's important for people to obtain that freedom of speech to say what they have to say. I mean, it was wild what Tellus did, and when he got on the stand to go and talk about what happened, he dug his grave even deeper because the prosecutor roasted him. It's like the same exact vehicle he has. It's the same exact stuff, and he goes and with the same. He had the hat in the house. He has the shoes all cut up, and I think that it is just disgraceful. And he was so prideful. He really thought that he was able to get away with it. and convince a whole jury of people that he was able to get off the hook. And it's good that he needs to be locked behind bars. People like him don't need to be let out. Another matter was that with Wade Wilson, they were going to see if his brain had something wrong with it. To see, and I'm about to go to like different articles and pictures and stuff in a moment. But basically, what happened was with Wade Wilson, there's thousands and thousands of women with all these hearts that were supporting him and saying how great he was and that he was innocent. As I was noticing, they're saying he was innocent, and they're like completely unreasonable people, and like these TikTok type people, and all right, Primal, you do that, and it's good that what you're doing. All right, I appreciate you very much, and chat does too. I'm glad that you came and stopped by and told us hello. I really appreciate it. And yeah, he had to do a brain scan, but you see, you would have to say everybody that did something evil has a brain problem, but he was not insane. Like Wade Wilson knew what he was doing. And I think that the people are just so misguided. And I don't know what people or influencers went and told him that it was good what he did, or that he was innocent, making him into a celebrity. That happened with Ted Bundy. I was not around yet, but y'all were. Some of y'all were. And, you had the same problem there. So I think that, he just has this stone cold look, but you could see in his eyes and his little movements, he was not really a happy camper. And he was given the death penalty. And as I said, it was just, I woke up and Amy and Kathy and them were telling me that the chat's crazy. People are crazy. I'm like, okay. And I see all these hearts and all these things. I'm like, oh, and I'm like, okay. And I'm like, oh, good grief. Like, really? These people are just praising this man. This is so many, let's call it sheeple, just a bunch of sheep, just blindly following. And it was good to see that other creep, that those big beady eyes, he got the death penalty that put the lady in the freezer. And that guy's attorney was really rude about the victim, and he even roasted his own client. I mean, because he was like, he's a creepy 50-year-old white man, and this the victim, she was doing prostitution, and he was just like talking bad about everybody. He's like someone like that's not like a likable person. Like, you're not going to persuade an audience by acting like that. So karma comes around, and it's good to see justice served. And another news about that other chat room is the excessive bullying that's going on there. There's so many trolls that are just these basement dwellers that are impatient while they wait for their chicken nuggets. They go and talk bad about the people in the chat. They'll go and pick on the different people, all of us, and we're just trying to exist watching a trial, and I really don't appreciate that, and we all stick together and we all defend each other, because it would be nice if we were able to mod over there, because it would be, as I said, it'd be nice. Or if YouTube had some kind of rule where all channels had to be moderated. Duke, I think that you're cool people. You don't bother me. But some people might think otherwise somewhere else. I remember the wheelchair caller you're talking about, and people were like, "What are you saying, Duke?" So basically, what happened was they would talk. They're racists. A lot of them are racist in the chat. Yeah, Dwayne says, please forgive me, but I'm sleepy that I keep dropping my phone on the floor. So good night, beautiful people. Pleasure to be here. Dwayne, for you to stay up really late for the late night special. It's really means a lot to me. And you get rest. You get rest on Sunday, and other days I'll do other lives. I'll be much earlier than this. Okay, so look forward to seeing you on the streams, and I appreciate you. Have a great good night. Okay. Duke says the best trolls are not the known trolls. Yeah, shout out to the flamingos, flamingo gang. Yeah, so but basically the chat, like the trolls be racist and they'll be against everybody and they'll against all people, just against and cause a bunch of trouble. And the other thing about trolls is they like to do that for attention, and they like to incite people. And I like what I do is to bring them closer to, like what I do is with the trolls, I like to, like, I'll talk about them and stuff, and then they come try to follow me, and then talk about me, and then sometimes I ignore them, sometimes I'll uh, go and say things. I'm just unpredictable, and because when you engage with them, it's good to defend each other, like we defend each other in chat, like Kathy does. That's good to do, to give each other moral support, like in a war, like Duke would understand. In a war, morale is very important. Like you got to make sure the people, the troops and all feel like inspired and have good morale to them. So no, it's good to defend each other and all. But I'm saying that the trolls, they also do that because they're trying to get a reaction. And like say, I remember I've studied a lot on YouTube. Like I didn't go to college, but I did studying about things on my own. Like I looked up things and like educated myself. And also I learned about different philosophies, and I learned about warfare, and I learned about all kinds of different stuff. And then like you say you're fighting, you heard the term, you're fighting an uphill battle. When you're in a situation with an uphill battle, it's best to bring them down off the hill down where you are. And I'll do that with the trolls sometimes. Like today it happened. I was saying some remarks about the trolls to some of the friends, and then they came right to me. That's exactly what they're supposed to do. I'm not going to go chase them. They're going to chase me, and then they put themselves in a trap. Because you got to control the enemy's fate. You got to control and put them in predictable patterns of response to control what the outcome's going to be. And it's also good for chat to always defend each other, like I do and you all do. And although in the other chat room we don't have mod privileges to block them. And because Duke, this other chat that I'm talking about, there's no mods there. There's this good team of mods they had, and they got rid of all of them. There's all these stupid trolls there, and no one could do anything. We roast them, we put them in their place, and we fight them back. And I encourage that, and it's good to do that. It's very important. And but they just keep, coming in, and like say one is, and they come back and they come back because Duke, when you don't have any kind of defense, you're just gonna have a bunch of enemies come and roll through, and you know exactly what I'm talking about. Although it's chatting on the internet, it's like warfare. Exactly. Don't pick on our friends. Exactly. And like Kathy, like sometimes, like in the phone lives I do, there's a lot of trolls. There's tons of them that come in. They'll talk about my lips or my looks or something, and because they're just like, jealous of me, and they just piece. A lot of them. It's like Tom was saying earlier. He thought that he didn't have a life in the chat room, but he saw the trolls and he really reconsidered his opinion, because these people dedicate their lives to going and causing mayhem to people in a chat room that is trying to talk about trials. Now, to me, I was doing other things and stuff, but the chats, as I said, I really like being in them because I learn a lot and I'm experiencing things that are on the news and things like that. I'm experiencing things of different people and things like that. I really like them. He says he got to take George out. All right. And so I like it, and I think it's it's a cool story to tell. Like I was in this chat room with these people, and we were fighting trolls, and I learned some new words, and I learned these different things, and they learned stuff from me, and vice versa. We had a good time with each other, and And you know, and there's no light without dark. Like the times that we were trolled, we really also came very close and we fought with each other, and on each other's side. Like, we're on like the same side fighting an enemy, and you know, and in the dark times, also good comes out of it. So I think it's very important to reflect on that, and it's good to see people come together. And yeah, just those people, you know, shame on them for what they do. They're keyboard warriors. Like, they wouldn't tell it to our faces, but they'll tell it all on the keyboard. And you know, they don't get a girlfriend. They don't have a life. No one likes them, and they just take it out on everybody else. And you know, the thing is, we didn't do anything to them. We welcome everybody. Like, I felt welcomed, Kathy felt welcomed, and all they would have had to have done was to just be a cool person, be in the chat, and there wouldn't be a problem. But their way of attention is not correct. It's just they want to see, you know, vengeance and cause mayhem. And I really don't like what goes on over there, and I do miss the mods that were there because they wouldn't put up with that nonsense. And I think Addie did an excellent job, and her team did very good. It's nice that Linda's there. It's cool to have her there. I understand why the other mods don't go there. I mean, they didn't, you know, I completely understand that. And you see how they just let them go, like they're just like throwing away trash in the trash can. You know, just simple, just being simplistic, just like that's it. Like, why? I think that is just, you know, really heartless what they did. You got to be strategic. It's like, you're gonna have a chat room with people, you got to have it moderated. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go into the articles and things like that, and talk about these same topics with articles and pictures and stuff. This stream has been going very nicely. I shout out to all of you people. I really appreciate it. All right, so I think that, you know, yeah, my friend in the game, Sam, told me to take care because I'm going to sleep. Okay, so now we're logging off. Here we go, and I mean, we're not logging off the stream, but we're logging off the game. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. No, nothing's wrong on my end. I just put out a different window. But yeah, y'all are going to see a dark window. But I'll put it right here for a moment. And then I'm going to go here, and we're going to go to Google thing right here. It's opening. It's opening. It's here. What's new? Not right now. Not right now. My voice kind of crackled a little bit. Right, shout out to the spaceship cats. Yes, facts, Kathy, facts. All right, so I'm going to go over some things about the typhoon in Japan, and the other things that we were discussing. All right. All right, we got some headlines here. Shanshan, millions told to evacuate as typhoon batters Japan 13 hours ago. As I said, this is like the same in my time when Katrina came through in New Orleans. So, and Kathy, I'll tell you, so it's right now in my time, it's August 30, 12:27 a.m. And around 7 a.m. on August 30th, 2005, that is when the levees were, whatever happened to them. They collapsed, or they went boom, whatever happened, they collapsed around 7 a.m. August 30th. So right now, if we're, it was not flooded. That's the thing. It was not flooded. Just that later that next day it happened. Like after the hurricane was even gone. Like as I said, the hurricane was gone. It was a blue sky, sunny day, and it happened. Because the headlines originally were that New Orleans dodged a bullet. That was the original headline. Because it didn't flood or anything. The city was fine. Hello, Amanda. Welcome, Amanda. I'm glad that you're here with us. And Amanda, I want to let you know that, Sarah, she's okay, but she's in an area where there's this typhoon happening in Japan, and this may be a reason why she's not with us at the moment. It could be, or she could be doing something else. I'm not too sure if it's in her part of her neck of the woods yet, but she, it's going to be in that region she's in. I've been keeping close contact with her. And I am having a nice night, Amanda, and I hope that you are too. All right. So we have Japan urges 4 million to evacuate lumbering typhoon Shanshan. Typhoon Shanshan brings torrential rains, travel turmoil across Japan. Millions told to evacuate as typhoon pummels Japan. Typhoon Shanshan prepares for major disaster as storm hits. All right, we're going to look at this article, see how it all goes. Yeah, and also I'll show you, Amanda, some pictures. All right, so this is a typhoon. So it's the same thing as like a hurricane, what they call a hurricane. And this is the map. Y'all could see it. And it's heading towards southwestern Japan, and it made landfall. And Amanda, this is the anniversary, or was the anniversary on August 29th when Hurricane Katrina landed in New Orleans. And this hurricane hits Japan the same day Katrina happened. Wow. And it's a big typhoon, and it's slow moving, and Sarah told me it's kind of similar to what happened in 2018. And it's going to go over the whole island pretty much. And the whole island's on orange. And it's going over right there. And you could see it on another map right here. Yeah, Dwayne says, yes, I saw most of the ladies croning over that murderer. Yeah, you saw that. That was horrible. That was horrible what those ladies did. Absolutely. It was so cringe. Yeah, so for context, Amanda, there's the Wade Wilson. There is doing a brain scan on him, and they're going to sentence him to death. And Amanda, Wade Wilson, he murdered some women, and he's similar to Ted Bundy, and he's like that, and he had all these Wade Wilson had all these female fans in the chat, spamming the chat, especially from different countries, and they had these hearts. And for Wade Wilson, he and they believed he was innocent, and that happened with the Ted Bundy trial, that they had women that support him. So it's really creepy. It's this condition where these women are attracted to those people that are murdering people. So yeah, it's absolutely cringe. Skynet became self-aware at 2:14 a.m. Eastern Time, August 29th. Oh, interesting. I didn't know that. Well, I guess it took a hurricane to get that done with them. Yeah, so And Amanda, another context about, I was reflecting over Katrina, which we'll still do because I do these different phases of the stream. So what happened was, Amanda, you may have been here when I said this because you're here for probably when I said it, but so the next day, August 30th, there was no flooding in New Orleans. It was just fine. But 7 a.m. or so, some explosions or some booms happened, and thank you, Dwayne. Thank you. And they went crashing down, and like people were saying that they heard this like boom and it shook, and then the water started coming in, and oh yeah, I know that. I know. I remember the Terminator movie. It's like I knew that from somewhere. You remember seeing that case, Amanda? Yeah. Now, Amanda, she watches the trial chat, but she doesn't really. She's not really there that much. But she sees that the trial chat, but she's, Amanda, you're not missing anything by being at the trial chat. So Amanda, at that other chat, the trial chat, there are so many trolls there because they took away all the mods, and it's just mayhem. There's all these trolls. There's people saying racist comments or comments against people's looks or their preferences and different things or what they believe in or whatever, just about anything. They troll everybody. So basically, and a lot of people are leaving the trial chat because it's so cringe, and it's really disgraceful. Oh, it's live when you're sleeping. That's right. That's right. So that's some images of the typhoon in Japan hitting the shore. Really, Dwayne? That is disgrace. Really, that is just horrible and evil for those people to do that. I don't blame you for not going there. They're calling Princess Dot a redskin because she's indigenous from Canada. And yeah, that's horrible what they do there because there's other chats that they're everywhere, those trolls. But a lot of channels have mods, but those people took away all their mods. And as I said, I think that, as I said, Dwayne, that's really horrible that happened to you. You're a very, very sweet, kind man, and they're just evil, racist people. Okay, that said that. I know, Amanda. I figured. Yeah, so that's some flooding that's going on in Japan. All right, so we're gonna go here to this article, see how it goes. Okay. One juror matters. Hello. I didn't know you're over here. Welcome. And yeah, I'm doing a lot of chatting. That's what I'm doing. One juror matters. And shout out to you. I'm glad that you're here at the channel. I didn't know you came through, but I'm glad that you came and subscribed to the channel, man. I'm glad you're here. Japan Typhoon Shanshan. Evacuation alert issued for parts of Tokyo as rivers swell. Right, and that's the image of it. That's it, coming through Japan. Also, I think reporting them is good too, in my opinion. Also, you're welcome. One juror matters. I've been reflecting on the hurricane that happened in 2005, talking about the hurricane in Japan, the typhoon, and that is some things that we're focusing on. All right. So a lot of activity on that website. So it kind of was trying to weigh down the stream for a second. So that's why I left that one because a lot of the stuff on there will cause it to go down. All right. All right. So basically, what happens is in these hurricanes is that these these surges come through, like we see over here. It has with the water. Basically, the storm in Katrina was the storm surge came through, and the levees got weak, or whatever happened to them, and they broke on both sides. All right. So there's a lot of activity going on. So yeah, basically we're seeing the pictures. I'm just going to explain it to you all this way because the websites, the news sites, they seem to be having a lot of traffic and stuff, and it caused the this stream to kind of be weighed down a little bit. So it'll pick up and get better again. But so I'll just explain this to you all myself, and so here we go. So basically, what happened was this typhoon is heading towards Japan, and there's these storm surges coming through, a lot of violent wind and rain, and 4 million people were told to evacuate. We're seeing some of the horrible pictures of what's going on. We have some houses and stuff coming down. We have some pictures of houses and stuff coming down. And it's very hectic, and the people. Okay, so yeah, so basically, so that's the situation. What's going on with the typhoon? Hello, Sarah. Good to see you. And Sarah said the rain and 400, not miles per hour, but 400 mm in an hour. Cayuse, you. Okay. And yeah, and then she said, "Hello, Kathy," and it's a slow moving typhoon. Slow moving typhoon. Okay. 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 So basically, this is the typhoon, and Sarah's giving us updates as we go along with this situation, and also, Alien, good to hear from you. Okay, understood, understood everybody, and I'm glad to hear from you, Sarah, because I was concerned about if you were out without power. And Sarah, so is it rainy? I mean, is it like really bad right now? I'm curious. All right, seeing how this goes. All right, so this is the hurricane, the typhoon going over Japan. This is the typhoon going over Japan. As I said, this is the map. And Sarah says, we have out windows taped and ready. Okay, that's good. I'm glad that y'all have that ready. Wonder Matters says, I wonder if we could find live Earth cams and get a view ourselves. Yeah, yeah, I agree. That sounds like a good idea. Yeah, so this storm is causing a lot of destruction and it's breaking records. And Sarah said, people couldn't walk outside right upright due to the heavy downpours. Yeah, that sounds really, you know, like a really powerful storm, Sarah. And, prayers for your safety and everything like that. All right. And Sarah, thank you for the update about what's going on. All right, let's see the satellite picture of it. And I want to know who's in chat. Oh, it's in Japan. That's where it is in Japan. And Sarah says, "Oh, check out NN News. NHK should be in captions." You see, Sarah, when I went on a news website about this storm, my stream was perfectly fine, and then I don't know, it just it stopped working. So I'm not going on any websites right now. Okay, but usually I go on the news websites and it works fine, but there must be a lot of traffic on those sites right now. And the thing was green, it was working perfectly fine, and then it went boom, and we had the problem we had. So, as I said, I'm just, you could tell me, Sarah, if you see anything or have any news about it, put it in the chat and I'll read it. But I'm just looking at pictures and talking about it. All right. So, as I said, that's the typhoon. It's heading in Japan. All right. Okay. Now, chat. I think y'all could hear me now or see me now. I'm curious. All right. So, and Amanda says, Sarah, it's scary. Stay safe, sweetie. I'm happy I got to see you. Do you know when it's supposed to pass you? Right. Doing something really quick. All right. All right, Checky. Thank you for letting us know. Thank you. A good night to you. Okay, aliens back. And also, Dwayne says hello, my brother, to his friend. I was reading some of the Law and Crime chat this morning. Saw you saying you're going to grow your hair out. All right. Yeah, it's good that you're prepared for it. All right, Kathy. Good night, Kathy, and thank you for coming to the stream. And Sarah says, thank you, Kathy. By the way, a cousin named Kathy, good name. That's cool. And Sarah says, very smart. I'll be praying for you guys. I hope it passes quickly. Yeah, I'm glad that y'all that came through came out and saw it. All right, so shout out the chat. Thank you. Right, so well, I always have it like that, I think. Yeah, shout out the chat. Y'all are cool people. Oh, Alien, put that one up on my screen. I'm not too sure which one you're talking about specifically. I'm not too sure which one you're talking about specifically. Looking at it, and I don't have the screen any different than I usually have it. Yeah, and Dwayne, you could be more specific about which thing you were talking about. Yeah, Dwayne, could be a little bit more specific about what you meant. Uh, exactly. Shaking. The screen looks normal to me. Okay. Yeah, so that's the typhoon. It's heading towards southwestern Japan, and it's good that y'all are prepared, Sarah. And I'm glad that Sarah for the emails. And I was reflecting on Hurricane Katrina earlier, and I appreciate the messages you're sending me about it. And it's very interesting that this is happening the same time Katrina happened. And I pray that everybody's safe and okay because there have 4 million people that are going to be evacuating because of this. Oh yeah, absolutely. It does look worse from space. Absolutely. Yeah, that one, that one's really crazy looking. It's very scary from the screen. Absolutely. Yeah, and also basically, yeah, this is the storm from space. It looks like certainly something from a science fiction type movie, and it looks like a good wallpaper too. Yes, Sarah, thank you for letting me know. Sarah, thank you for letting me know, and keeping y'all in my prayers. And glad that you were listening to that. And as I said, what happened was I usually read articles and stuff, but there's this new update about it. And when I went there, the whole time the stream was working fine, and then it just went boom. So what happened was there's so much traffic on that website that it overwhelmed the stream. Is what I'm saying. There's a lot of traffic about the topic. Okay, Dwayne. Okay, Dwayne. Thank you for being here. In spite of that, I appreciate it, and also, and I wasn't sure about doing the live because of the weather, but I needed to do this Hurricane Katrina thing, and about the typhoon in Japan where Sarah is. So as I said, there's really bad weather today, everybody. But it's I had to do this, and it worked better than I thought it would. And Sarah said 2018 Jebi, which I'm probably saying it wrong, or Jebi, went through here and was awful. Port containers tossed into the land, airport bridge down, but we were one of the bridges in our city with after praise God. Well, amen. Praise the Lord. Oh, exactly. Katrina memories. Exactly. All right. Okay. All right. Here I am. Here I am. Okay. Here we go. Alrighty. One juror matters says 4 dead, 90 injured so far. 2 hours to go until, according to news, NHK World. thank you, Wonder Matters, for telling us that. Thank you. All right, so I'll say it again: 4 dead, 90 plus injured so far, as of 2 hours ago, according to News NHK World. Yeah, thank you for so much for the help. And Sarah said, "Okay, they'll wait." And here we are. Uh, that is the thing. Mudslides take out a lot of homes. Oh, I could certainly imagine. That makes perfect sense. All right. And this is the image of the satellite. And yeah, it looks very, very horrid. Yeah, so that's it. It's going towards Japan, and yeah, so this is this is why I believe in teamwork. It's very important. Okay. So also I'm gonna do a reflection on Katrina. Thank you, Dwayne, for confirming about Pam. She was great. And she really wanted me to stay there. And although I met a lot of new friends there that I talked to, she was the one that got me to go there more often. Amazing lady. One more last thing. Yeah, she a couple weeks ago she for the same reason. Okay, Sarah. So basically, with the Law and Crime channel, and we call it the other chat. Basically, what happened was they got rid of their mods, and oh, all right. Shout out to the spaceship cats. Well, this is a better screen to have on. Cool. While I talk about things. So yeah. So this is the spaceship cats, Dwayne. Right here. Yeah. So shout out to the spaceship cats. So yeah. So what happened to the Law and Crime chat? They took out all the mods. They took out Addie and her team, and also what happened was when they left, hordes of trolls and racists and all kinds of evil people came through, and they pick on the main group, the which is us in the chat and everybody else there. They mainly attack us, the main people that chat there, and they go and they cause, they bully us, or they're racist, or they'll say things about pretty much anything or everything we talk about in a negative way to make us feel bad, to bully us. And we can't like y'all have, like, if a troll came in here, y'all have mod privileges, y'all can go and take the person out. But at the other chat, we can't do anything, and they never put of these mods there to solve the problem. So this is the mainstream narrative story about it. Now they say that, according to Addie herself and other people, is that Addie is saying that the a company bought out LC, and they got rid of the mods, and they were going to replace them with new mods, but that didn't happen. Now Addie made a remark, I remember, in one of her streams, because there's a period when she did the streams, and she had the people in the chat, like, from the original mods, and some people from I did tell people at the LC chat, that she was streaming it and they could go over there. because they had the mods there and everything with her hosting it. And she hasn't seemed like she hasn't done that in a little while, but she did the Chad Daybell ones. So basically, she was saying, I remember there was a remark she said, and have now she would be the one to say the official stories about this. This is all from what I saw. She made a remarks to the effect that some people may have thought she was too controlling, overbearing, or something. I'm using my own words. I'm paraphrasing it, and so people could have complained about her to take them out. But when you do that, you just have a bunch of trolls that cause problems. But as I said, that is more of an abyssal area. That's more of a other thing to talk for another time. But the main thing is that the main narrative is that a company bought them out and they took out the mods, but also there could be other reasons too, possibly as well. And also, basically, like, because a lot of times she and the other mods would get rid of the stupid trolls and they would complain and they would say, wah, and they would get angry. So, who knows what occurred. But the thing is, that's what they want you to do. They take them out. And, okay, One Juror Matters says, Jelly Smack is the company. So, thank you for telling the company. And it's true that they were bought out. That's true. But also, thank you, One Juror Matters. And hello, Billy, which is Turning Guns, is Billy. Good to see you. So, basically, what happened was a company bought out the other group, and they took the mods out. So, basically, that's why those are a couple of reasons why the mods are gone. But the thing is, though, they didn't never replace it with other mods, and there's just a wasteland. There's just all these people, and they seem, they say, as I said, like, bad things. They act stupid, and there's so many of them, so many trolls everywhere. It's, when you take away all the defense, when you take the defense away, you don't have, any way to defend yourself. And like Kadeda and them were saying that, they block these different people, and which when they block somebody, they can't see them. But it would be nice if they could just block them out the chat completely. But it's an unfortunate situation. Sarah says, well, they ended a good chat room. They did end a good chat room. And I remember this. Back in, it was, as I said, in saying my history with the channel, was that way back in it was the Johnny Depp trial. That's how Byzantine Ladybug and I went over to Law and Crime chat, the LC chat, when the other chat room and Independent, it wasn't working. So everybody said, go to LC, it's working. So we went over there and watched the Johnny Depp trial there for a day or something. And then I watched Darrell Brooks and the other idiot defendants that were there. They're doing bad things throughout the year. So I did that. And then what happened next was I took a break from it. Then I went back. And as I said, I met I like that, Sarah. That's a good idea. And basically what happened was there was Dwayne and there's a couple other people, and there was one person, El Marco, who disappeared. There was, I think her name was Deanna. Deanna, I think I'm saying her name right. She subscribes to the channel too. She's in there somewhere in the channel. And she was one of the first ones to come over. And so basically what happened was we would just, like, Dwayne and I and the others, we would just, like, make jokes and say funny things to each other and go back and forth. And over time we all got close, and Pam wanted me to come more often, and I did, and so I'm able to do that. And I remember it was winter, and I would move my pepper plants in and outside, and I would talk to her a lot. I talked to her a lot about the different things I was doing and the stuff going on around here, and also Dwayne too, and the other ones, and One Juror Matters, and Kathy and them, and I got close to all the other ones too, and we made a little group, and it was very nice. But then what happened was, as I said, when they took out, there was a rise of trolls before they took the mods out, and a lot of them were complaining about the mods. A lot of them were complaining constantly. And as I said, a company, conveniently, I'm being sarcastic when I say conveniently, buys out this other company, and then they just took them out. And then you have like a situation where it's like a foreign country's invading us, and there's nobody to defend it. It just gets overrun. But we defended ourselves, and we do a great job at roasting the trolls and putting them in their place, and we do great with each other. But like, we can't like block them like out the chat room. But I still, and others, we still collectively enforce the rules that Addie and her team set originally. And one night, Amanda was with me at one of the late night chat rooms. I believe it was before Addie was taken out. And it was this about the LC's other channel, about their body cams channel. And I was there, and Amanda eventually came later, and I was welcoming people and stuff like that. And I enforced the rules, and there were some stupid trolls there, and I got them out the place. I said, you could leave if you don't like it here. And Addie and her mods are very, supportive of LC. And people will complain about the ads, and like Mull was one of the mods, and she would say, like, they have to make money. The company has to make money, so they run ads. Like, you run ads on YouTube to make money. And they did all that, and they just throw them out like a bad habit, like this plastic bottle, just, because, just throwing them out. So as I said, it's really disappointing, and just anything. You take out the defense, and they just overrun them. Amanda says, Sarah, I know, such a good idea. She used to play yard, and she used to herd her dog puppies. She never got used to that. And want the plastic, really fun surprise. Yeah, Billy, that sucks, dude. Cringe. And Sarah says, you can carry it here on... Can you carry it on here now? I'll get to that in a moment, Sarah. So, basically, the way I would be able to do the law and crime thing... Oh. So, I would have to somehow... Like, I don't know... Like, they have to... There's a Zoom call that they're all on, and I guess it's attorneys or something that have permission to go in there. So, if I somehow got permission to be on the Zoom call, I could stream it like Law and Crime does and the other ones. And also, I mean, that's an idea. It's something I could look into, Sarah, for sure. And also, we got some questions. So, and Dwayne, I see your question too. I'm going to answer it in a moment. And Sarah says, were the mods paid? No, Addie was paid. But that, I think it was just her that was paid as far as I know. Mull was just making a reference to the company itself. The company itself was, like when they have a YouTube channel and they run ads and they make money, because people complain about the ads. But, and Mull would make it clear that the LC was a company. And another thing with, so Addie was paid. She was the director. And she put that channel together. With this other Kathy. It's a Kathy with a C. There's a law and crime website where they have information on the CEO, and a Kathy with a C. That one was the one that communicated with Addie. And there's a lot of Kathys out there. Shout out to the Kathys. But this Kathy, yeah, so that's the one she worked with, and they got the channel a couple of years ago. Maybe it was like 2015 or something. No, but Addie was the one that got that together with the LC. She's the one that's behind all that stuff. And her little group of mods put it together, and it just went, poof, up in smoke. You know, and that's why they're really upset and they don't go there because they don't want to see their friends not have a mod to help out. And I'll answer. Okay, thanks. Wonder matters. Kathy Rusin. Okay, Dwayne says, "How do I zap bad actors in the comments for you?" Dwayne, this is what you do if you see a troll here or on the phone lives, whatever. You press their name like you're gonna go to block them, and it'll give you an option list, and it'll say to time out somebody. It'll also will say to block somebody from the chat room. So though it'll give you options, you could time them out as much as you'd like, or you can block them out the chat completely. And Dwayne says Dan Abrams sold long LC to a person who doesn't care about the chat. It's like new owner want chaos in the chat. It's very creepy, for sure, Dwayne. They want chaos and destruction. It's really absolutely absurd. And I don't know. I don't know why someone would want that to be like that in the chat. And as I said, I wonder if they didn't like Addie and the mods because some group of people or somebody complained about Addie and what the mods were doing. As I said, I remember her saying something about that some didn't like how she handled the chat. Like, for instance, like Sarah, for instance, like say she is getting rid of trolls, and they go, "Oh no, you're being mean to me. Why you're being mean to me?" And then they're like, "Oh, this person's being bad to me." And it's like, oh, well, and this other group of people are like, oh, we don't want people being mean mods, so we're gonna get rid of all the mods. And they go and but you don't do that. It's like, it's for instance, like say a snake, right? And a snake's telling you like, oh, I'm your friend and all, but then it bites you in the end. And it's like the Trojan horse. When they brought the horse into the city, it was a great present. And the people were inside and they went and hijacked the whole thing. You got to be careful about these things because it's horrible what these people can do. And I don't know, as I said, is it like what Dwayne's saying? Like they want chaos in the chat. They didn't want to be not nice to somebody. They didn't want them themselves to be sued, which is very far fetched. Are they even paying attention to it? And there are mods that do exist on that channel. I have seen them before, but they don't talk to us like anymore. They don't talk to us. They come into the chat sometimes, but they're like incognito. Oh yeah, Sarah, I understand absolutely what you mean. Chaos makes more visitors, so counts go up. That's possible that they are doing it for money. That it gets them more ads or more revenue. Yeah, that's a possibility. And it goes up. Oh, and for child's sake, they want woke mods. Exactly. Like they, you know, they want to cause the destruction of the channel and bring a bunch of unholy stuff in there. Because, like, as I said, like, with Princess Dot, it's really T Dot. That's really what it is. Princess T Dot. That's what her name is. So I'll just call her Princess as a nickname. So, like, with Princess, as I said before, they go and the trolls say, are you Mexican? Are you a redskin? Why are you a redskin? And you see, they're racist. They're racist to Dwayne. I mean, it's really horrid. And a lot of people didn't want to be there. Like, I remember Pam did stay there after the mods left, and she got fired up. But you see, and she's not the type of person to let something go past her. She's a very tough lady, Pam. LOL, Amanda. And so that's funny, Amanda. All right. So basically, what happened was with I, okay. So Billy says my Japanese cooking course wasn't as planned in the last August. You have to forgive. However, I did pick up some Middle Eastern Lebanese. Well, that's good. You did that at least. Yeah. Yeah. So Sarah said that YouTube will do nothing. All right. So basically, as I was saying, the trolls did a lot of things. I remember because I was saying something, and it'll come back to me. So I'm going to continue on. So basically, what happened with there's this troll that used to appear in the chat, and they would constantly the guy would tell Addie that she was being mean to him, and you got to be a real tough guy. I'm being sarcastic. You gotta be a real tough guy to say, "Oh, some woman's being mean to me." Like she's a mod trying to protect her chat from a troll. And I remember one time he was talking about myself and Jen Lowe, and if they didn't act nice, then they'll be enemies. So this is what I was talking about Pam. So Pam's a very tough lady, and she doesn't let things go past her, and she would let the trolls have it. She let them have it. And what happened was, but she's not a mod and she can't really do anything to stop it. And she didn't want to see that. And I could see why she doesn't want to even, she washed her hands of it, didn't want to be there. Now, Mike Morrow did say that she will return for a visit to the LC chat. And he said that earlier today. And yeah, I'm really disappointed. And I'm sure, Sarah, it has to do with greed. Or they make money off it more somehow. Because that's what I was thinking of. Because I remember, as I told you, I studied about warfare. And how the ancients did warfare and stuff like that. And also what I did was that they want to put you in predictable patterns of response. And as I said, chat must defend each other. It's good to defend each other and stick up for each other. I think that's fine. And also, trolls, they want attention, and they want you, and they get energy from that, and more of them come, because it's like, say, pulling the puppet strings. And as I said, I lure them to my den, so to speak, because they're uphill and I bring them downhill by me, because I will make remarks about them and stuff, and then they come by me, and then it goes sideways for them. And I do ignore them sometimes, but I do defend my friends in chat. I do. And other times, say someone's trolling me, I ignore them because they're trying to fuel off that, and they'll be talking to themselves. So, as I said, I do want to be aware with wisdom that to not fall into any kind of traps that they may have set. Yes, Dwayne, I was mentioning Kathy Rusin earlier about that. And thank you, Dwayne, for letting me know that. And Sarah said, sad happened, been seeing same on decent good church channels. Well, that's unfortunate, Sarah, that's happening. And I'll say this about the LC chat. There's people from different political views, people from all kinds of different religions. Everybody came together and united under a cause. And as I said, I like seeing that, because I'm in a lot of political chats that some of you may have met me at, and I really like the LC chat where you could have different political views and people to all come together for a common cause that really means a lot, because people that are having a situation where there's some criminal doing something wrong and everybody comes together to expose them, that's really making a difference. But there's other things that are outside our control that we can't really do anything about, like the war in Timbuktu somewhere, or what this politician or that politician does. And as I said, because they like to divide and conquer, and then, as I said, different things started getting brought up in the chats about politics and this and that. And I didn't like seeing that. I want to see more unity. Amanda said, "Don't feed the trolls." Thank you. You put it in layman's terms. Thank you. And Sarah says, "I only over chat online is when I can chat in English." Sarah, yeah, it must be kind of. I don't know if awkward's the right word, but you're over there and you're the only one from of over here from there. It must feel very strange. And Sarah says, "Indeed, Amanda, Billy, need to recipe stream." Sarah says, "Also, everyone is awesome. Had not to chat." Chaos is what trolls thrive on. Exactly, Sarah. That's why. Exactly. Exactly. Putting the enemy in predictable patterns of response. And I defended my friends in the chat, so I want them to know that I'm there for them and I stick up for them. And also, I will make remarks and stuff about them, and yeah, facts, Dwayne, about the Trojan horse, facts. And I'll lead them into my den, because I lead their uphill, bring them downhill. Because when they attack me, rather than me attacking them, they attack me. When I go, this troll is this and that, and they go, and I'm controlling them. I'm getting them to talk to me. You see what I do there? Rather than me talking to them, I get the troll to attack me. As I'm controlling their every move, then I just ignore them. You see? I appear where I'm least expected. I don't always do the same thing. I just go back and forth. So yeah, absolutely. And I want to advise my people to not feel the trolls, and they'll attack a lot of the ladies there, and the ladies there very good looking, and they get attacked by the trolls because these trolls have so much hatred in them, and they thrive off the nonsense. Sarah. Thank you, Sarah. I appreciate that. All right, so this is Hurricane Katrina as it was coming into our shore, and this is the flooding it did. See the help signs and stuff like that. And yeah, it was really horrible, especially seeing on TV. It was very horrible. Amanda said there was a troll in another chat recently was making everyone mad. Chat told me to ignore them, but I started just trolling them, troll myself, and troll left me alone. Yeah, because Amanda, basically, when we troll the trolls, because it's good to stand up for yourself. And basically, when you stand up for yourself and other people, they know that they're going to be, so it depends on the troll. As I said, depends on the person. But basically, with the troll, they will, if they see there's a retaliation for what they're doing, they know that there's going to be a force that's going to be put upon them if they do something. Like they do something, they mess around and find out. Dwayne said, "Oh yes, P is very strong, tough lady. She packed like Tyler Perry's Medea." Yes, yes, indeed, Dwayne. And also, basically, because of the trolls, they thrive on the attention and stuff. They thrive on chaos. But at the same time, it's good to defend yourself. And that, that's what I do in the chats. Because I understand about the concept of not feeding them attention. And at the same time, though, I still defend my friends and myself when the trolls do that. And because basically, we all get together and we attack them. And I lure them into traps and stuff myself. Like earlier today, Amanda. A few times of Dwayne. Yes, I've been there too. I've been on her channel. And also, because today I was calling a troll earlier, a basement dweller that was waiting for his chicken nuggets. Oh yeah, I troll them back all the time, Amanda. And at the same time, I also lead them in different traps and snares and different things as well. And I do know that at the same time, they do thrive on the attention, and they just keep on. That's why I like keep coming back, because that's what they thrive on. At the same time, it's good to stick up for yourself. So, keeping all these difficult things in mind while doing the trolling, dealing with trolls is very important. Dwayne is a friend of mine from the trial chat room. Billy. Yeah, so this hurricane was really messed up. Katrina, absolutely. It was really big. It was really big. Wow. Hurricane Katrina Superdome. Yeah, and that was the Superdome, and the roof was just completely torn off. I remember when it was like that. When I came back here, I remember seeing it like that. It was great. It was really disturbing. It really was. Amanda, I remember I said the other day where that I do not allow my friends to be picked on and like bullied and stuff in all capital letters. And eventually the person stopped saying stuff and they got quiet because you got to defend yourself. It's very important. And also another thing I do is build up the person that's being picked on and give them moral support also because it's not nice what those trolls do. Yeah, so this was pretty messed up when that happened. And that's it before and after. Okay. Let's see what else. Yeah, there was the what's his name? Yeah, this is Tellus. He's really cringe. And Sarah says, "Remember watching it here? We all were horrified." Yeah, absolutely. I'm glad that y'all were keeping an eye on it. Rethink and rebuild. Yes, facts, Sarah. So I've dealt with trolls a lot, and I put them in their place. I've done that quite often, like Amanda does. And as I said, sometimes, you know, Dwayne saying, "I have to do this so I could see what he's saying." Alien, I also took up for a friend. That's when I was called the N word. No, no, that just, low IQ people, real stupid, ignorant people, racist. Just, yeah, they can't like think of any other words in their vocabulary. They're so stupid. You know, like earlier today, I was telling Princess about the basement dwellers, what they were doing. I was talking about that, and then the troll attacked me because that's what I was trying to lead the troll to do. And it was making like a mocking, condescending thing about, oh, I'm waiting. Where's the what's it called? Where is the smoothie or something? So as I said, that's what I like doing. I like bringing the trolls to me because that's something I like doing sometimes, and other times I attack them directly also. And as I said, I've dealt with a lot of stupid people, and it depends on the person. Like some people will just leave, like what happened to me. They'll just leave me alone, or they'll leave like Amanda alone. Others thrive off of the attention and just keep on going at it. And they'll incite a chat room knowing that people are going to react to it over and over again, like pulling puppet strings. But then again, it's good though to defend your friends. Though I'm not saying not to do that. And I think that it's like warfare. You gotta it's a different type of warfare than anything that I've studied of in my life because we have this internet. Like it wasn't the Terminators attacking us; it was the chat rooms attacking us. But I'm not saying in the future there could be something with AI being edgy, but that's the situation that we have. You know, what we were doing here, and also, yes, thank you, Sarah. Sarah says, Dwayne, that was ignorant, ungodly thing of them. Also, they think they will drag others into becoming a troll. Right, exactly. Because like what we're saying, that to incite the other person, right, to go. And also, I like like with the samurai, like Musashi, and them they thought of. And like he was saying, you have to go into battle fully willing to die, although we're not in that kind of situation by in the chat room, of course, but fully into anything with all of what you got. Another thing we do is we go and take down the enemy, and to not be controlled by the enemy but controlling the enemy. But yeah, that's exactly what they're doing, Sarah, for sure. Dwayne says to Turning Guns, I'm just a Gramps who a quiet guy formerly from the Else the Long Climb Network. Sarah says Dwayne was ignorant trolls. Mayorakis on the screen. All right, so who's this? Who's this creeper on the screen? So this is Tellus. I have to drink some water. So he was found guilty and, abusing an elderly person because he went and deleted a journalist that was talking about his corruption. And then he did, what Tellis did, was he he got on the stand and he talked all of his nonsense and he defended himself and his lawyer looked really triggered and he was just being a buffoon. Everybody was roasting him for hours and he was, the same vehicle he has that the assassin had. It was basically him with his own vehicle and everything. I believe it may have been his wife's vehicle, if I reckon. And he was saying he loves his wife when she was on the stand. She was saying all kinds of things, for supporting him. His mom did too, and it was sickening. And he was found guilty. He was found guilty, Sarah. For what he did. A complete clown. Complete cringe. And then we have the other one, which is Wade Wilson. Okay, Sarah. I'm getting you mixed up again with Sarah. Okay, Amanda, thank you. I'm glad you were listening. I know. Yeah, very cringe. You see, that's Wade Wilson and his girlfriend, and that's him. And he has some racist symbols on his face, by the way. And also, because he has the Nazi symbols on him, and this guy deleted some women. He's like a serial killer, pretty much, and he has a lot of female fans, and they were spamming the entire chat with hearts and things like that in support of him. And no, he didn't delete his girlfriend. What he did was these two women he deleted. You remember, he went, he strangled them, and one of them got away. Or they're talking about the testimony with the one that got away, and she said like his eyes got like real like dark, and he strangled. He was strangling the woman, and this guy he's 6'5". He's very tall. And as I said, I mean, and he was picking on these little ladies. I mean, and deleting them. He deleted two, and he was strangling. And yeah, all those women, thousands and thousands of them were hearts, and he's so great, and he's so they thought he was innocent. They thought he was not guilty, and he was spamming the entire chat. They're spamming the entire chat for him, but it's like he didn't. Like with and Amanda, today they reviewed. They were reviewing Kohberger today. Today was Kohberger's hearing, and the judge did not make any decision on Kohberger. Now Kohberger had like one or two of the fans there, but this guy got tons of them, thousands and thousands of them. And the thing about this guy is that he was not innocent. He clearly did it. And I remember when he ran into a place to get like an Uber, and he was like, "Oh, he did all this stuff, and he couldn't help himself." And Yeah, he was just gross, and he just has this stone cold look on his face, and he would go. You see his eyes, how his eyes look dead. Yeah. So what he did was he they're trying to say that he was insane, and they want to do a brain scan on him, but the judge still stands that he will get the death penalty for what he did. Yeah, that's him. That's him there. That's like him from the side. He has these, these tattoos, these real cringe tattoos. Yeah, he's just, yeah, he's just so like disgusting. He really is. Okay. Oh no, Amanda, the judge ruled that he gets a death penalty. He didn't take a plea deal. Now, anytime someone gets a death penalty, they're automatically appealed. And then it goes to these motions and stuff. But no, that the other guy, Wade Wilson, yeah, he's got a death penalty. Yeah, I know. Or this is Brian Koberger. Okay, Sarah, the guy's name is Brian Tellis. Tellis is his last name. It's like a Latin name, similar like Hercules, Achilles. Tellis is like a it's like a Mediterranean name. I believe he was from Mexico. Not directly from Mexico, but he's of Spanish origin. Brian Tellis. No, not Brian Tellis. Robert Tellis. Robert Tellis. But I see what you're doing there. I see what you're doing there, Sarah. About tell us, like tell us. I know what you're doing there. It's not Latin. But Sarah, I knew what you were saying. I just was telling you what the first and last name of the guy was. Thank you. One juror matters. Thank you. Yeah, the judge made no decision. They just had a lot of boring motions. What they're trying to do was they're trying to say that there's a bias in his case. That there's all kinds of Facebook posts and things going on. Yes, yes, that's correct. Let's see. Portuguese for the medieval personal name Telus, probably ancient Germanic origin. It's Portuguese. I was right. And it could be of, and also it probably is of ancient Germanic origin, and it comes from Telus, and it's Portuguese. Okay, okay. I would say getting Wade Wilson and Brian Koberg would be a possibility, but interesting with Telus. Okay, Dwayne, thank you. His race is Hispanic. Yes. Hispanic origin. Yeah, that's the correct one. Not like from people from Spain. It's Hispanic. Right, Dwayne, thank you. Yeah, and they're saying that there's a bias in Brian Koberger's case, that they were too easy with them, that there's so much media coverage that it would steer the jury to have a guilty verdict because of what they heard, so there would be a bias, and the jury cannot be biased. So they're saying with all the social media posts that the jurors saw that there may be a bias in his case. So they're trying to give him an argument to give him a more of a fair trial. And also with Brian Koberger, there was no decision by the judge on the matter, by the way, because they're trying to set a trial date, but they don't seem to be doing that. You're welcome, Sarah. Yeah, and he deleted these people, Brian Koberger. Oh, Sarah, thank you. Thank you for letting us know. All right, so he did that. Also, this too. Yeah, he's another clown. All right. Oh yeah, Sarah. Amen. She said, "Please, please don't plaster so much info on social media. These kids' evil is real." Yeah, because you know they have all these evil people and stuff all over the place, and with the social media, it's absolutely horrible, and so many people are being misguided and misinfluenced because it's very evil. Very evil what's going on, and people get misguided. That's why I wonder if some TikTok videos or something happened, and people really thought that Wade Wilson was innocent because someone must have misled them or whatever it was, or emotion. It was really crazy. Sarah says, please don't plaster much info on social media. These kids' evil is real. Yeah, so Sarah is saying that a lot of people put information on social media that could get them in trouble. And she's saying they were. No one's ugly except Wade. Exactly. And Sarah said they were constantly posting where and what they were doing. So Sarah, what she meant by that was On social media, the kids were posting where they were and what they were doing, so the perpetrator was able to find and track them down and go and delete them because they let their information out on social media, because social media could be used in an evil way to find information. So that is why they did that, because he did that by catching them because all the stuff they had on social media. Wade Wilson is the guy with the face tattoos. I'll show you him again. This is Wade Wilson. Right there. Yeah, he's such a goof, such a goof. Right, right, and also because they're trying to say with Wade Wilson that he had a problem with his brain, but they did a brain scan and it's normal, and he's still getting the death penalty. He didn't have a mustache. He had like a little weird goatee. Well, let's see. I'll put it up on the screen. No. Let's see. I'll show you. It was somewhere. You see in this picture, he has a little tiny little goatee right there, but he doesn't have any kind of mustache. Found guilty in June, Wilson had deleted Christine Melton and Diana Roos in October 2019, According to the publication's report, the murders committed by Wilson were too heinous and held no ground overrule the death sentence. Yeah, I think tattoos are okay if people are interested in them. It's just this guy was just really bad. That's why we don't like him. Cause it's like this guy was an influencer or something. No, besides the racist tattoos he has, that's something people wouldn't like. We wouldn't like that, but he, it's not about him. The tattoos, it's like his what he did, including the tattoos, adds that he's kind of like messed up. Not that tattoos are messed up to have. It's just that he was trying to express himself, but not the tattoos I'm not talking about, but when he deleted the people, he expressed himself in a negative way. Yeah, but as I said, tattoos are fine. But this guy specifically, it's just what he did. It's not about people with tattoos. It's okay to have tattoos if people want to have them. And it's about people that are deleting people. Like Brian Koberger has no tattoos. We don't like him. As I said, if he was some sort of influencer, who would care? I made you stay past your bedtime, Dwayne. Yeah, I'm a character. Dodging moon rocks as they go past my spaceship. Yeah, I think tattoos are really cool. I'm not against tattoos. As I said, if he was an influencer or something or some rock star, he wouldn't be seen in such a negative way. As I said, if he was just some influencer or a rock star, who would care? But it's what he did. And like absolutely crazy he is. You're welcome, Amanda. I'm going to try this. See this thing over here. See how it goes. Well, that's cool, Sarah, that you had that. Oh, Amanda. Recently, I've been talking about some of the spooky stories because of the Halloween season coming up. And let's see. Lincoln, but not Lincoln. All right, so what I'm going to be doing, I'll say one of these stories you're talking about. Okay, here we go. Here. Not this one. I did this one already. Sarah says they have been spotting huge triangles and cin- in cylinders off East Coast 3 a.m. ish. Well, Sarah, thank you for letting us know. Thank you for letting us know. Let's see. Let's see if we can find anything about it. Yeah, I don't see anything about that right now, but I'm not saying it's not true. I'm saying like, but thank you, Sarah, for the update. I was just curious to see if there was any news about it. Okay, I have something, some story. Here we go. Ball lightning. Ball lightning is a rare and unexpected phenomenon described as luminescent spherical objects that vary from pea size to several meters in diameter, though usually associated with thunderstorms. The observed phenomenon is reported to last considerably longer than the split second flash of lightning bolt and is a phenomenon distinct from St. Elmo's fire. Well, I didn't know Elmo was starting fires, but St. Elmo's fire is a weather phenomenon in which luminous plasma is created by corona discharged from the rod object, such as mast, spire, chimney, or animal horn, in an atmospheric electrical field. It has also been observed in the leading edges of airplanes. That is some of the ancient, I mean, some of the older people seeing the ball of light. No, Sarah, I take it seriously. It's all good. Some 19th century reports describe. Yeah, I thought I was just being tickled. Yes. Some 19th century reports describe balls that eventually explode and leave behind an odor of sulfur. Descriptions of ball lightning appear in a variety of accounts over the centuries and have received attention from scientists. An optical spectrum of what appears oh, describe balls eventually explode and leave behind odor of sulfur. Descriptions of ball lightning appear in a variety of accounts over the centuries and have received attention from scientists. An optical spectrum of what appears to have been a ball of lightning event published January 2014 and included a video at high frame rate. Laboratory experiments have produced effects that are visually similar to reports of ball lightning, but how these relate to the supposed phenomenon remains unclear. Yeah, because we see orbs and stuff and balls of light, and also I think that many people have seen these things. I have seen these balls of lightning. I mean, I've seen ball, these orbs. That's what we call them now. These orbs. And I think, without a shadow of a doubt, that these things are paranormal for sure. Because so many people that I've talked to on different streams have seen these things from multiple accounts, and I've been taking videos of these things I've seen. And I'm glad now with the modern technology, people can see that now for sure. But further reading, I will say that some 19th century reports will describe these things as they will explode or leave behind the odor of sulfur. Scientists have proposed a number of hypotheses to explain reports of ball lightning over the centuries, but scientific data on ball lightning remain scarce. The presumption of its existence has depended on reported public records over the centuries. And also public sightings as well, which have produced inconsistent findings owing it to lack of reproducible data that exists of ball lightning as distinct physical phenomenon remains unproven. Characteristics. Descriptions of ball lightning vary widely. It has been described as moving up and down, sideways, on unpredictable trajectories. I've seen this myself. One night after a stream I was watching, I saw this blue glowing orb rise up, and it was in the sky, and it moved around, went up and down. It's on the channel. And that these things are orbs, and like, say the angels, some of the angels, they had the fallen angels especially, they're like wheels within wheels, and it looks kind of like these orb things, so it could be from something from the fallen realm. And these UFOs and stuff, like they'll kind of like they'll look like that. And it has been described as moving up and down, sideways, and unpredictable trajectories, hovering and moving with or against the wind, attracted to, unaffected by or repelled from buildings, people, cars, and objects. Some accounts describe it as moving through solid masses, or wood, or metal, without effect, while others describe it as destructive, melting or burning those substances. Its appearance has been linked to power lines. Altitudes of 300 meters, 1,000 feet and higher, and during thunderstorms and calm weather, ball lightning has been described as transparent luminescence. Sarah says, yes, alien spheres been told of long before the printing press. Sarah said, yes. Spheres long before the printing press. Sarah said, yes. Spheres have been told long before the printing press. And Sarah said, oh yes, you said that on your channel, Wandering Spirit Stars. Absolutely. Because people, there's so many accounts of these things, and I think that they're very angelic looking beings, and also I think that it's good now with the Pentagon, things are being exposed from the Pentagon, that the government's taking it seriously, like they're testifying before the Congress about it. And I think it's good in this time period. It's been taken more seriously than other time periods. And during thunderstorms and calm weather, so it's for 300 meters to 1,000 feet and higher. And during thunderstorms and calmer weather, ball lightning has been described as transparent luminescent, multicolored, evenly lit, radiating flames, and flamets or sparks with shapes that vary between spheres, ovals, teardrops, and rods or discs. Dwayne says, I can't see any, Billy. I've only blocked once in my life. The first time day at YSL chat, when they came into the chat, I was, and it took over insulting us. Yeah, the YSL chat could be very, very wild. They have a lot of characters in that one. A lot of the regulars don't like that one. I see YSL all the time because I'm interested in what happens with that situation. It just that trial was very shady as well. It goes on forever and ever. And also, it can appear as transparent, translucent, multicolored, radiating flames. Like Scripture talks about the chariots of fire flying through the sky, or the chariots of fire picking up the prophet and bringing him up to the heavens, radiating flames, flaments, or sparks with shapes that vary between spheres, ovals, teardrops, rods, or discs. They appear in all kinds of different forms. Ball lightning is often enormously identified as St. Elmo's fire. They are separate and distinct phenomenon. The balls have been reported to disperse in many different ways, such as suddenly vanishing, gradually dissipating, being absorbed into the object, popping, exploding loudly, or even exploding with force, which is sometimes reported as damaging. Accounts as vary on their alleged danger to humans. Exploding loudly, exploding with force, which is sometimes reported as damaging. Accounts as vary their alleged danger to humans from lethal to harmless. And shout out the chat. I'm glad that chat is doing cool. It's all doing very good. Sarah said, yeah, but as you know, thunderstorms isn't the one answer to solve all sightings and experiences. Exactly, exactly. A review of available literature published in 1972 identified the properties of a typical ball lightning, whilst cat cautioning against over resilience on eyewitness accounts. There frequently appeared almost simultaneously with cloud to ground lightning discharge They are generally spherical or pear shaped with fuzzy edges. Their diameters range from 1 to 100 centimeters, most commonly 10 to 20 centimeters. Their brightness corresponds to roughly that of the domestic lamp, so they can be seen clearly in daylight. A wide range of colors has been observed, with red, orange, or yellow being most common. The lifetime of each event is from 1 second to over a minute, with the brightness remaining fairly consistent during the time. They tend to move at fewer meters per second, most often in horizontal direction, but may also move vertically, remain stationary, or wander erratically. These things that go all over the place. That's what they do. It's okay, Sarah. I like it's okay to have conversations. I was glad to see chat getting along and talking and stuff. I don't mind side conversations because I was always in chat rooms all the time and I chatted with people, so I have no problem with y'all talking about other things. It's okay. And because y'all still engage with the content, you can talk about both. It's okay. I don't have a problem with it. I was glad to see chat getting along and having fun. And also, yeah, rods. Exactly, rods. And I think we could see a lot of this stuff, in our modern age. How people in the past saw these things, they didn't really know what they were, but now we have more insight on what they could be. Okay, Dwayne Harris. I'll explain. So, Turning Guns, his real name's Billy. So, Turning Guns is the same person. Yes. Bible says those that lift. Yes. Amen. Yes, you saw the rod that was waiting for you. Thank you. Yes, I remember that, Sarah. Thank you for the insight. Many described as having rotational movement. It is rare that observers report the sensation of heat, although in some cases the disappearance of ball is accompanied by the liberation of heat. Some display an affinity for metal objects and may move along conductors such as wires, metal fences, and railroad tracks. Some appear within buildings, passing through closed doors and windows. Some have appeared within metal aircraft and have entered and without causing damage. The disappearance of a ball is generally rapid and may be either silent or explosive. Odors resembling ozone, burning sulfur, or nitrogen oxides are also reported. Sarah says the sphere. Don't know why experienced that one. It was like a watcher type. Be careful what asked for. Exactly, exactly. Alien's real name is Predator. Amanda is looks like she's exposing me. And there you go. The cat has been let out the bag. cat has been let out the bag. I've been Amanda. I couldn't put one past Amanda, and she decided that, she's gonna. So yeah, Alien is really Predator. And I know about that. Yeah, that was funny, Amanda. Ball lightning is a possible source of legends that describe luminous balls, such as mythological from the Argentinian and Chilean Mapuche culture. According to statistical investigations, the 1960 ball lightning has been seen 5% of the population of Earth. Another study analyzed 10,000 cases. That's a lot, 10,000 cases. I know, Sarah. I know about the movie. It was funny. What Amanda said. It's a nice joke. The Chronicles of Canterbury, Grevas of Canterbury, an English monk, contains what is possibly the earliest known reference to ball lightning, dated to June 11, 19, not 1995, but 1195. He states a marvelous sight descended near London, consisting of a dense and dark cloud emitting white substance that grew into spherical shape under the cloud, from which a fiery globe fell towards the river. All right. And yeah, so Amanda, that has to do with the scary stories I'm talking about. Like, I told you I'll do for Halloween. I'm starting it up, and about the orb topic. That is something that has to do with that topic. So it's like has like a warm up to it. I'm both Alien and Predator. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you. Okay. Sarah says she'll be right back. Okay. Well, I'll read a little bit more of it then. I have a little bit more to read, and a little bit more to read, and then we will end it. Not right now. I'm not going to end it right now. But we will. Hey, Norm. Good to see you, buddy. So basically, let's read some more, and then we will end it in a little bit. All right. Grevis' description of a white substance coming out of the dark cloud, falling as a spinning fiery. Yes, it is, Amanda. I'm very excited for it. Thank you, Sarah. I'm glad you're listening. Grevis' description of a white substance coming out of the dark cloud, falling as a spinning fiery sphere, and then having some horizontal motion is very similar to historic and contemporary descriptions of ball lightning. It is fascinating to see how closely Grevis' 12th century description matches modern reports of ball lightning. Great thunderstorm of wide comb in the moor. One early account reports the great thunderstorm at a church in Widecombe in Moor, Devon, in England, on October 21, 1638. So, in England, on October 21, 1638, 4 people were deleted and approximately 60 suffered injuries during the severe storm. Witnesses described a 8-foot ball of fire striking and entering the church, nearly destroying it. Whoa, whoa! That's a an unwelcome guest right there. You see how these things, it's attacking a church. Large stones from the church walls were hurled into the ground and through large wooden beams. The ball of fire allegedly smashed the pews and many windows and filled the church with a foul, sulphurous odor and dark, thick smoke. This is a depiction of the church. When the UFO is smashing into it. The ball of fire reportedly dived into segments, one existing through a window by smashing it open. The other disappearing somewhere inside the church because of the fire and the sulfur smell. Contemporaries explained the ball of fire as the devil or flames of hell. Later, some blamed the entire incident on two people who had been playing cards in the pews during the sermon, thereby incurring God's wrath. In my opinion, I think it was some, one of those, the interdimensional fallen watchers that were picking on a church. That's what it seems like. But, they have these alien sightings all over the place. And, like Norm, it's like people to this day cannot be questioning if these things are real or not because, there's obviously something else out there supernatural, as we both agree with. And there's so many of these. Like now, I remember I saw this video recently of the moon, and all these orbs appeared. It was like these stars. They appeared and disappeared. It was something wild. It's like with the internet now, you could show this stuff to people and expose it. The Slope, Catherine, and Mary. In December 1726, a number of British newspapers printed an extract of the letter of John Howell of the sloop Catherine and Mary. As we were coming through the Gulf of Florida on 29th of August, a large ball of fire fell from the elements and split our mast in 10,000 pieces, if it were possible. I know, Amanda. I know. Split our main beam, also 3 planks of the side under the water and 3 deck. Killed 1 man, another had his hand carried off. That's really graphic. Wow. You see, this is what some of these aliens are not nice. And had it not been for the violent rains, our sails would have been blast of fire. Wow. HMS Montague. One particularly large example was reported on the authority of Dr. Gregory in 1749. Exactly, Amanda. It is completely undeniable at this point. Absolutely. So Admiral Chambers on board the Montague 4 November 1749 was taking on an observation just before noon. He observed a large ball of blue fire about 3 miles distant from them. They immediately lowered their topsails, but it came up so fast upon them that before they could raise the main tack. Yeah, I got the yeah. My voice is like that. Yes. They observed the ball rise almost per perpendicularly. This is a tongue twister for me. I know the word, but it's a tongue twister. Perpendicularly. I probably said it wrong, but see that word was a little bit difficult. And not above 40 or 50 yards, 35 or 45 meters from the main chains when it went off with an explosion as great as if 100 cannons had been discharged at the same time, leaving behind it as a strong sulphurous smell. By the explosion, the main top mast was shattered into pieces. Well, what a nice being to do this to people. To go and destroy a ship like that for no reason. Shattered into pieces, and the main mast went down to the keel. Okay, I could see where these like horror movies about the alien apocalypse, like War of the Worlds. I mean, it looks like some stuff has happened already. These things crash into a church, it crashed into a ship. I mean, there's something really out there. Down to the keel. 5 men were knocked down, and one of them very bruised. Just before the explosion, the ball seemed to be the size of a large milestone. Origin of what exactly? All right, I'll put the word in the chat. George Richmond. A 1753 report recounts lethal ball lightning when Professor George Richmond of St. Petersburg, Russia, constructed a a kite flying apparatus similar to Benjamin Franklin's proposal a year after proposal a year earlier. Richmond was also attending a meeting of the Academy of Science. When he heard thunder and ran home with his engraver to capture the event for prosperity. While the experiment was underway, ball lightning appeared travel down the string, struck Richmond's forehead, and killed him. The ball had left a red spot on Richmond's forehead. His shoes were blown open, and his clothing was signed, singed. His engraver was knocked unconscious. The door frame of the room was split, and the door was torn from its hinges. HMS Warren Hastings. An English journal reported during 1809 storm, 3 balls of fire appeared and attacked British ships HMS Warren Hastings. Hello, Billy. Amanda says I'm good at spelling as long as I can write it down. When I just have to say how it spells out, it's a lot harder. Yeah, yeah, I agree. I agree, Amanda, because I remember spelling from school. I like doing, and I agree with you. I remember in class they used to have these very nice pieces of paper with green on it. It would have these green lines and stuff like that, and it was very nicely done. So that's the word balls of fire comes from that Jerry Lee Lewis was talking about. Those are the great balls of fire. I didn't know what that meant, but it's a UFO. Okay. Okay, so we have historical events where these orbs went and attacked ships and stuff. It's like War of the Worlds in these different movies. It's really incredible. I mean, they would have you think that it was all made up, but no, you had some situations where these things happened. Ebenezer Brewer. One of my friends, her last name's Brewer. In his 1864 U.S. edition, A Guide to Scientific Knowledge of Things Familiar, discusses globular lightning. He describes it as slow moving balls of fire, or explosive gas that sometimes fall on the earth or run along the ground during a thunderstorm. He said that the balls sometimes split into smaller balls and may explode like a cannon. All right. Tsar Nicholas II saw it too? Hold on a second. Whoa. Whoa. Uh, Billy, that looks very eclectic. Yeah, shout out to Billy for being eclectic right there. Nicholas II, the final czar of the Russian Empire. So Nicholas II was the last czar before the communists took Russia over, which was the first country to be a communist country. The final czar of the Russian Empire reported witnessing a fiery ball as a child attending church in the company of his grandfather Alexander II. Once my parents were away, and I was at the all night vigil with my grandfather in the small church in Alexandria. During the service, there was a powerful thunderstorm. Streaks of lightning flashed one after the other, and it seemed as if the peals of thunder would shake even the church and the whole world at its foundation. Suddenly, it became quite dark. A blast of wind from the open door blew out the flame of the candles, which were lit in the front iconostasis. There was a long clap of thunder, louder than before, and I suddenly saw a fiery ball from the window straight towards the head of the emperor. The ball it was lightning whirled around the floor, then past the chandelier and flew through the door in the park. My heart froze. I glanced at my grandfather. His face was completely calm. He crossed himself just as calmly as he had when the fiery ball had flown near us, and I felt that it was unseemly, not courageous to be frightened as I was. I felt one had only to look at what was happening and believe in the mercy of God as my grandfather did. After the ball had passed through the wall, through the whole church, and suddenly gone through the door, again I looked at my grandfather. A faint smile was on his face, and he nodded his head at me. My panic disappeared, and from the time I had no more fear of storms. I love reading about these. Amanda, I found out of this category back last year when we were looking at the Halloween stuff, and I really just learned and found out so much information and content information too. I never knew Tsar Nicholas had a alien experience. I'm the one that discovered this. That was really something. And Tsar Nicholas II was, and his whole family, they were deleted by the communists, and they were assassinated, by the way. His daughters, his wife, and everybody else, they all were assassinated. In a basement. Rest in peace. He had issues. He wasn't perfect. But, it depends on the sources. Some say he was good. Some people say he wasn't. Facts. Eclecticism. Exactly, Amanda. And this, as I said, the communists, they're the ones that did that, and some of the radical anarchists. Not all anarchists are like that, but it was some group that called themselves that did it too. Yeah, it's really sad, Amanda. And that was the first country to become communist. It was Russia, the Soviet Union. That's what happened. 1917, 18, and in the 20s. Yeah, so it was really horrible. Right. Aleister Crowley is a son of Satan. He's demonic and evil. He was a really evil person, and he was a Satanist, pretty much. And he reported witnessing what he referred to as a globular electricity during a thunderstorm on Lake Pasquaney. And I said that wrong probably. In New Hampshire. United States, 1916, he was sheltered in a small cottage when he, in his own words, notice when I can only describe as a calm amazement that a dazzling globe of electric fire, apparently between 6 and 12 inches, 15 to 30 in diameter, was stationary about 6 inches below and to right of my right knee as I looked at it, exploded with a sharp report quite impossible to confuse with the continuous turmoil of lightning, thunder, and hail, or that of the lashed water and smashed wood was creating a pandemonium outside the cottage. I felt very slight shock in the middle of the right hand when I was closer to the globe than any other part of my body. So so basically you have it right here this occultist, he saw the orbs as well. Yeah, Amanda, like I was saying about Vietnam and North Korea, it started over in Russia first and it expanded over in those regions. A ball of lightning even in the chimney. Scared. All right. All right. Okay. So let's see. Facts. Facts. Eclecticism, the suffrage of alienism, modern English, alien suffrage. Dick, you have entered into the alien zone. I love that, Billy. I like that very much. I like the terms you're coming up with. I really appreciate them. All right, and also what I'm doing now is I covered the things I want to cover, and we'll be going live tomorrow if the weather and everything goes well. So we're gonna be wrapping it up. We all could go to bed. And Sarah, I know you're listening, and I know it's kind of a little bit shorter than usual, but Sarah, our thoughts and prayers are to you for this hurricane, and I'm thankful for the updates you gave us about it, and I'm glad that I was able to cover it. And I'm glad that all you here with me. I appreciate it. And also, we say our final thoughts and everything, and I appreciate all of you in chat and everybody coming here. All right. And I'll be seeing you all tomorrow, Friday as well, and also Sunday. I'll be doing an earlier stream, a much earlier one as well. All right. So, y'all have a good night, good afternoon, and as I said, Sarah, good luck to you. I'm glad that y'all have the windows taped and everything. And peace.